Why you never know what to say and how to fix it forever. There you are again. In the middle of a conversation, someone says something unexpected. A question, a challenge, a moment to shine, and suddenly your mind goes blank. The words vanish, like mist in the morning sun. You feel the pressure build in your chest. Your heart races. Your thoughts scramble, but nothing coherent comes out. You either say something awkward or say nothing at all. Later, when you're alone, the perfect response finally arrives. But the moment has passed, and with it, the chance to show your wit, your confidence, your true self. Why does this keep happening? Why do so many intelligent, thoughtful people struggle to find the right words at the right time? Why is it that when the moment matters most, our voice fails us? This is not a problem of knowledge or intelligence. It is not because you don't have good things to say. It is because deep beneath your silence lives a set of invisible chains. Chains forged by fear, doubt, overthinking, and years of conditioning. But here's the truth that few ever realize. The ability to speak clearly and powerfully is not reserved for the lucky few. It is a skill, a mindset, a discipline. And once you understand the root of your hesitation and begin training the right muscles of the mind and tongue, you will never again be at a loss for words. In this lesson, we will walk the ancient path of clarity. We will uncover the hidden reasons why you freeze up, and we will forge the tools to break free. You will learn why the most charismatic speakers seem to speak with ease, how you can speak with power in any situation, and how to transform your voice from an uncertain whisper into a force that commands respect. This is not just about communication. It is about presence. It is about self-mastery. Because when you learn to speak from a place of calm, confidence, and clarity, people don't just hear your words, they feel your spirit. Read to the end. There are truths ahead that can change your life. The curse of the overactive mind. Why silence takes over when you need words. Most, imagine your mind is a garden. For some, the garden is peaceful. Thoughts grow with space to breathe. Ideas flow like a stream. For others, the garden is overrun. Too many vines, too many weeds. Every thought chokes another. Every moment of clarity is buried under layers of second guessing. When you can't find the words, it's not because they aren't there. It's because there are too many competing voices in your head. What will they think of me? What if I say the wrong thing? What's the perfect answer? How can I sound impressive? These thoughts create mental noise. And in the midst of that storm, your true voice gets lost. This is the first lesson. Clarity comes not from knowing more, but from thinking less in the moment. The great speakers of history, from Socrates to Churchill, did not rehearse every word. They trusted themselves. They spoke with presence. To speak well, you must silence the storm. Marcus, a young entrepreneur, always stumbled in meetings. His ideas were brilliant, but he froze when asked to speak. A coach gave him one simple practice. Before responding, take a breath, pause for 3 seconds, and speak the first honest sentence that comes. Within weeks, Marcus was no longer overthinking. He became known for speaking with simple, steady power. When your mind is noisy, your voice disappears. Learn to pause, breathe, and trust the clarity that comes when you are fully present. The fear of judgment. How shame silences. Your voice. From childhood, many are taught that being quiet is polite, that speaking boldly is arrogant, that if you say the wrong thing, you'll be mocked, judged, rejected. Over time, these lessons carve deep into the soul. So you hesitate, you soften your voice, you hold back, not because you have nothing to say, but because you fear how it will be received. This fear of judgment is like a hand around your throat. It tightens every time you think about expressing yourself. But here is the ancient truth. The world does not respect silence born of fear. It respects the courage to speak even when your voice trembles. Those who walk in self-respect know this well. When you speak your truth, not to impress, not to please, but to share honestly, you gain strength, not shame. A young woman named Hannah wanted to contribute ideas at work, but was afraid of being laughed at. One day, she decided to speak up with one small sentence in a meeting. The room went quiet. Her idea sparked a breakthrough. Her courage gave others permission to speak too. Today, she leads her team. Your voice is not a tool to impress. It is a mirror of your courage. Speak with sincerity and fear will lose its grip. 3. The myth of the perfect response. Why chasing perfection keeps you silent. Many hesitate because they're searching for the perfect thing to say. But speech is not a performance. It is a connection. The most respected voices are not perfect. They are real. Waiting for the perfect words is like waiting for the sea to still before you set sail. You will never begin. Instead, speak what is true now. Trust that clarity will come as you go. The path of the speaker is forged in motion. Julian, a law student, tried to craft every answer like a polished argument. He often paused too long, missing his chance to contribute. His mentor told him, "You are not a script. You are a flame. Let yourself burn." From then on, Julian spoke naturally. People began listening not just to his words, but to his conviction. Speech is not about control. It's about connection. Let go of perfection, and your voice will flow. Lack of practice, the forgotten discipline of speaking. Do you expect to play the piano beautifully without practice? To fight skillfully without training? Then why do you expect to speak powerfully without practice? Speech is a skill. It must be trained, honed, rehearsed, yet many treat it as something you either have or don't have. This is a grave error. Those who seem effortlessly articulate often spent years practicing, reading, writing, discussing, reflecting. Train your tongue like a warrior trains their blade. Leon, an introverted student, began recording herself speaking every morning for 5 minutes. At first it was awkward, but after a month, her voice grew stronger. Her words became clearer. She began volunteering to present in class. Confidence is not born, it is built. Make daily practice a ritual, and your voice will rise. Disconnection from your message. When you don't believe what you're saying, words without belief are like arrows without tips. They land, but never strike. When you speak words you don't believe, your body betrays you. Your voice weakens, your energy drops. People can sense when your heart is absent. To speak with power, you must speak what you believe. Even if your words are simple, if they come from conviction, they will land with force. A politician gave many speeches, but few listened. Then one day he shared a story from his past, a hardship that shaped him. His voice cracked with emotion. That clip went viral. Why? Because for the first time he spoke from the soul. Truth is magnetic. When your words align with your values, people don't just hear you, they feel you. Speaking under pressure. The hidden power of stillness. When the eyes of the room turn to you and the air grows thick with tension, your body reacts first. Your pulse quickens, your breath shortens, your mouth dries. The pressure to respond becomes unbearable. In such moments, many speak out of panic or say nothing at all. But true power lies not in rushing forward, but in pausing. In stillness, there is strength. The one who remains calm when others panic becomes the center of gravity in any room. This is what warriors understood before battle, what sages practiced in silence, what masters of influence all possess: the ability To remain still when the world expects haste. A single deep breath can shift your energy. A moment of pause creates space for clarity. Do not fear the silence. It is your ally. In that silence, your thoughts organize, your spirit gathers, your words take root. During a heated negotiation, a young executive named Raphael was being pressed for an immediate answer. Instead of responding, he folded his hands, took a breath, and calmly said, "Give me a moment." The room fell quiet. When he finally spoke, every word landed like iron. He walked away with the deal on his terms, not because he rushed, but because he owned the moment. When you feel pressure, slow down. Do not let others control your tempo. In stillness, you reclaim your power. 7. The 3-second rule, turning hesitation into impact. There is a rule among disciplined communicators, so subtle yet so powerful that it separates leaders from followers. It is the 3-second rule. When you are asked a question or find yourself needing to speak, give yourself 3 seconds before responding. Not to stall, not to delay, but to align. In 3 seconds, you breathe. You ground yourself. You choose your tone. Then you speak, not from reflex, but from purpose. This short pause does not weaken your authority, it strengthens it. The world often mistakes speed for sharpness, but wisdom is never rushed. A young teacher named Miriam was often flustered by classroom questions. She began practicing the 3-second rule. At first, the pause felt awkward, but over time, her students noticed something. They began leaning in, her words carried weight, and so, by doing less, she began to command more. Let your words be few, but full. Silence before speech is the mark of a mind that chooses its weapons carefully. The ancient breath, calming the storm. Within your voice lives in your breath. Without control of breath, you cannot control speech. Before great orators spoke, they prepared not just their message but their lungs, their rhythm, their flow. Breathe deeply from the belly, not the chest. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Speak on the exhale. This anchors you, calms you, stabilizes your energy. When the breath is steady, the voice is clear. When the voice is clear, the message lands. In ancient temples, disciples were trained in breath before words. Because speech without breath is like fire without oxygen. It flickers and dies. Before every presentation, Aaron, a software engineer turned speaker, now spends 2 minutes alone, breathing in silence. He calls it his ritual of clarity. Since then, he has never again lost his voice to anxiety. Do not speak from tension. Speak from breath. The calmer your breath, the stronger your presence. The mental phrase bank, preparing for the unpredictable. Great communicators do not improvise everything. They prepare. They build what ancient tacticians called ready phrases, words and lines for common situations. This is the mental phrase bank, a collection of responses, transitions, and power lines you can draw upon when needed. Not memorized scripts, but flexible tools. Just like a warrior sharpens different blades for different battles, you prepare phrases for different moments. When you need to buy time, that's a great question. Let me take a second to think about it. When you need to disagree respectfully, I see it differently. May I share my view? When emotions rise, let's pause here. I want to respond, not react. Clara, a young manager, built her phrase bank and reviewed it weekly. When tension rose at work, she always had the right words, not because she was smarter, but because she was prepared. Her team called her the calm in the storm. Prepare not just what you want to say, but how you'll say it when pressure rises. Clarity is often the result of quiet preparation. The shift of identity. Speak as the person you are becoming. The final transformation is not just in your speech, but in your soul. You must stop speaking like someone who hopes to be respected and start speaking like someone who already respects themselves. Your words reflect how you see yourself. If you see yourself as small, your voice will shrink. If you see yourself as worthy, your voice will rise. Do not wait for permission. Speak as the person you are becoming. Every sentence you say reinforces your identity. Every conversation is a rehearsal for the life you are building. Jacob used to shrink in conversations, but he began practicing a new mental script. I speak from wisdom. I speak with value. At first, it felt like a lie, but soon, it became truth. His voice changed. His posture changed. And so did the way people responded. Your voice follows your identity. Speak not as who you were, but as who you are meant to be. The voice of a master is forged in silence, honed in fire, and heard in truth. The reason you never know what to say is not because you are broken. It is because no one ever taught you how to listen to your breath, how to master your fear, how to speak with presence. But now you know. You know that clarity doesn't come from speed, it comes from stillness. That power isn't in the perfect words, it's in the honest ones. That respect isn't demanded, it's earned, word by word. Through courage and preparation, you now carry within you 10 timeless tools. Use them, practice them, etch them into your daily life. Let your silence be wise and your speech be true. One conversation at a time, you will become someone others listen to, not because you shout, but because your presence speaks first. And remember this: the world does not belong to the loudest voice. It belongs to the clearest one. If this lesson lit a fire in your heart, do not let it fade. Subscribe to this channel. Join the journey of becoming more powerful, more persuasive, more present. The next lesson will take you even deeper. Your voice matters. And now, it's time to use it.